Might be the night we die.
I don't have my gun on me.
Mine's in the bedroom.
Huh?
Mine's in the bedroom.
That does us no good right here.
Welcome back to the podcast. It might be our last. And it would not probably be aired.
It is our last one of the year. But
I put of the year.
Oh,
You said one of the year.
last one of the year.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think might be ours.
It is our last episode of the year.
2024 is officially over.
It is.
Just yesterday was 2020. Just yesterday, COVID was announced.
Mm-hmm.
Just yesterday, students were not on campuses. Just yesterday, we had...
That's a good time. Because I didn't have to be on campus.
Yeah, but you also lost your chance to play college football.
You didn't have to remind me about that one.
People saying.
That's the one thing I wish I could get back from COVID. But the rest was great. I sped up my years at Coastal, spent time with my mommy, went back home, traveled a little bit.
Got your job. Not during COVID, but like after.
Year after, yeah.
Yeah.
I start working
I feel like the last 4 years have been a blur.
It really has been. It's flown by so fast.
Yeah.
Too fast.
We went from a 4-team to a 12-team playoff.
Most importantly.
Yeah, we just watched. We finished round one. Is there anything you are changing right now in your released playoff prediction?
Yeah. So as we're filming this, we just got done watching Ohio State.
Sadly, it's because
obliterate.
It's because I had a Tennessee shirt on underneath this.
Oh. I think we should do this more.
Do the picks like with hats.
In a more professional setting. I have Ohio State winning the whole entire thing. What would I change? I would not have... Wait, what are you asking me? What's the question? What would I change?
Anything like after the first round now, it's officially over.
Yeah.
Updated bracket. Would you change anything on yours?
I think I may have taken Notre Dame instead of Georgia because of Carson Beck being out.
Will be taking Notre Dame?
I don't know. I'm scared.
You have Georgia right now, right?
I have Georgia right now.
Yeah, no, I'm debating that one.
I think I might take Notre Dame. It's two teams that I don't like.
I don't know though. Kirby Smart in the playoffs. Hard to bet against. Wonder what it is.
I'll have to bet against Georgia. I don't know.
Especially this time of the year.
But the first round game sucked. I told y'all, Clemson's exposed, Indiana's exposed, SMU's exposed. The ACC sucks. Indiana sucks. They should not have been in the playoff. Clemson didn't deserve to be in the playoff just because they won the ACC championship. SMU definitely did not.
Georgia is a 1.5 favorite. 1.5. That is literally. It's in the Sugar Bowl. I'm really excited for the Ohio State-Oregon game. Ohio State comes in at a 1.5 spread favorite. Texas comes in at a 13.5 favorite.
Shout out to producer Raina. Shout out to Max Santa. Shout out to
Amanda McDowell.
Shout out to the Benton family for your long season of, hope.
It's going to change.
Inspiring.
That's all going to change.
Games that comes to an end.
The conferences, the system, all of it's going to change.
The ACC was the first ever power conference to never make a New Year's Six bowl. And I love it. It's great. I mean, just drop them down to the group of 4.
Miami.
Group of 5.
Miami's playing who in a bowl game? Iowa State?
Yeah. Not a New Year's Six.
I wish I was in charge of the bowl games.
I wish I was in charge of the country. Things would be a lot better. Oh, thank you.
Well, yeah. I'm talking about me. Okay. I wouldn't want to be in charge of the country.
Well, I'll run the country. You run college football.
Okay.
Anyway, we hope you all had a great Christmas. As we're filming this, we haven't reached Christmas yet, but
yeah,
I'm going to be traveling. You're actually going to West Virginia tomorrow.
Till Christmas Eve.
For skiing. I think I'm going to drive up tomorrow night to go home. I had tickets for the Coastal Carolina Bowl game, but I regret buying them, and I don't think I'm going to go.
I think it'd be a waste of, there's going to be nobody there.
Yeah. I don't even think I could sell them. I could probably give them away for free.
Yeah, do a giveaway online.
Hey guys.
Yeah, follow the Battle Bowlings podcast and we'll give away Coastal tickets.
Yes. Even though this will air after that game.
Yeah. Oh.
So, this is airing next Friday.
Yeah.
So last episode of the year, I thought we could do like a little year-end recap of, just everything that's happened this year. Highlights, lowlights, achievements, disappointments, all the above. And then we'll get into like 2025, our goals, quote unquote,
New Year's resolutions.
I'm not really excited about, staying hardcore about this new health thing. I'm excited to start it, but I've learned it's
What's your why? What's your why behind it?
to be healthier.
Okay.
Because our food system in America sucks.
Yeah.
And the government puts so much junk into our food system, and I'm over it. I want to be as healthy as I can with what I'm putting inside my body. Does that mean I'm going to go work out? Probably not. Unless you want to do leg day.
I do leg day.
No, you don't.
It is the last day for me of the week.
Yeah, that's the day you're like, I don't think I'm actually going to go to the gym today.
I don't want to do it, but
Why?
Because it's not fun.
It is. It's the easiest for me.
You're in a rare,
I know. I was a kicker. I played tennis.
So, starting in 2024, what is one thing that is like the highlight of the year for you?
Like, the whole year?
I'd say so. Give me 3 things that this year made an impact.
I'd say obviously the biggest one would be moving back down here.
You did that this year?
In April.
Oh yeah, I keep forgetting that.
I mean, it feels like we've known each other for a long time. Feels like I've been going to Langston for a long time. But I'd say the top greatest moment would be deciding to move back down here. And then the whole coming to Langston, meeting you people. Second, I don't know if I can say this. A relationship that really built confidence up to a point where I'd never thought that I could feel worth something again. After things that have happened in the past. Check out last week's episode for Christmas trauma.
And be looking out for 2025's episode that will take place later this year.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Next year.
25.
I'd say, okay, the relationship would be number 3. Number 2, baptism. Because that's oh my gosh, yes. This guy screws up my name when I'm getting baptized, but
it was a special moment. I remember.
Yeah.
It's hard to forget.
Knowing the background of my story and everything. I was baptized before, but I really didn't grasp it. And it was just something that I wanted to not necessarily redo, but do it and do it right. And then I put the final nail in the coffin, it felt of the past and everything, and just finally move forward. So moving down here, baptism, relationship, and moving down here encompasses meeting you, going to Langston. I think the greatest people I've met as a blessing would be you, Raina, Garrett, Jordan, the Benton family, and then obviously our close people in the college, but that's the core. Y'all have changed my life.
Jesus changed your life.
Yeah, but
he used people to do it.
Yes. What about you? Top 3.
I don't think I'm going to go in order. I'm going to just say 3 things.
Are you sitting close to the mic again?
I am thankful, one, for the fact that we live in this house. We moved in this house this year. And it's
been a lot of memories.
What?
A lot of memories have been made here, so.
Yes, lots of memories. I'm so thankful, though. I never thought I'd, own a house like this.
Yeah.
It's not big, but it's big enough, and so, super thankful. I get to share it with the love of my life, and we're doing this thing called marriage and life together and figuring that out. And so we are this is year 2 for us in marriage, so learning a lot still. But yeah, I would say that's number 1 or one of my 3 is moving into this house.
I feel like I also basically moved in.
Yeah,
As you can see,
You've
we're
been
here back
since
on the
the
couch.
beginning. I think. When did we move into this house? This is our first Christmas here, so it's after that. It couldn't have been. I don't know, bro.
I came down April, so between January and April.
It might have been before. No, I mean like after. Like after you got here. Like we might have just been moving in. I don't even remember like moving in. I really don't.
It's been a long day too. Long,
Yeah, it's
48
past
hours.
midnight, and we're recording this. We got to get up for church. We're both driving tomorrow. Long weekend.
After we drove
long
today.
weekend. We went to Charlotte.
We had a great time
Yeah,
this weekend.
we were serving, and
Operation Christmas Child.
very humbling experience. And you go in, like not to like sidetrack, but like things like that. You go in, and yeah, you want to spend time with your group, or you want to do what you want to do, but it really humbles you, and you recognize like for 5 hours, this like my life isn't about me.
Yeah.
You're just gonna do something.
Yeah. Well, they like split us all up, and you and I were working in this like one section. And I think you're like down a ways, and you turn around there. I am like standing crying because I'm looking at they're playing like this slideshow of things on a huge screen of like quotes from kids who received these shoe boxes in overseas different countries. And the one person, it was a little girl, she said, I received a box of crayons for Christmas in this shoe box, and I'm just so thankful that God knew my heart and what I was asking for. And I was like, she just wanted crayons. And here we are in America wanting everything at the snap of a finger, and we're getting it at the snap of a finger. And all these kids get for Christmas is a shoe box. I mean, here we are filming a podcast with a camera, 2 mics, lights, laptop.
We're sleeping in a house with a bed, and we're driving cars.
Right.
It's crazy.
Yeah, very humbling.
Number 2 is obviously the ministry. Just seeing the growth. This is the first year we did midweeks. I don't know if you knew that. Like we started midweeks in January. That was our first launch, and just seeing it grow, and just seeing like getting to be a part of it. Especially like a lot of times, like I used to tell myself like I wish I could go to a place like a ministry that's like established already, and I'm just kind of like jumping in.
Yeah.
But getting to start something from the ground up is so rewarding because even in the failures of it, it's like it grows you and humbles you in such a way. And so the ministry itself, there's so many things still happening that I'm so excited about and thankful for. And yeah, I wouldn't want to do anything else. And then third is definitely this podcast. I said earlier, I was like, I used to do a podcast and I didn't know what I was doing. Thankfully, Noah did. Like he's the tech guy. He does the tech at church. Yeah, Bible vibes. And he moved, and we, obviously I didn't trust myself to do it by myself. And I told myself one day, I was like, my goal was to get back on the podcast mic. And so when you came along and were like, hey, can you jump on an episode? Which then turned into, hey, you want to be a co-host? Like, I was over the moon excited about it. And I'm still like in awe that we get to do this and have fun with it. And so I'd say like in a mixture of that, like I'm thankful for that God brought you here. Yeah. And that our friendship is what it is. Like it started with a conversation about football and all of a sudden you're getting baptized. All of a sudden, like where, you're helping lead in college ministry. We're in a discipleship group. We're on a podcast. It's like, what in the world?
I actually didn't think we were going to be friends, to be honest.
Word.
Why? I don't know. Like when we first met, I was just like, oh, he's not going to want to be my friend. And that's like, when I say like number one is like coming down here, that was like encompassed in that is like, I need it. Like a very close friend. And I think it's pretty obvious that you've become like my best friend of South Carolina. But like, that's best friend. That's like something I needed though. I never had like a best friend who was like, could help with my walk with Christ. Yeah. Like I have best friends back home, but they're not walking in their faith or anything like that. So I needed community number one.
Yeah.
But like I need it close people. So like you, Raina, Garrett, and Jordan, like being that close unit is like something that I've desperately like prayed for over the years because I've never had it. And then like living on your own for 2 years in DC, talk about misery. I mean, you're not doing anything other than work. You know, like you just
And
need
just
it.
go.
Yeah. So like, and then this podcast, I think I picked a pretty good person to balance my radicalization out, I'd say.
I think I keep getting asked by the same person. They're like, "Did you ever think you'd be on a political podcast?" I'm like,
Yes.
no, absolutely not. But we got like that's not the premise either. It's like it's just it's tying just like the reality of our worldview of faith into everything that we are and do, and politics is and everything.
Yeah.
And so I'm thankful that we like just get to talk about the hard things that a lot of people don't even know like how to talk about.
Yeah.
Or like they're like, I never would have thought about that, but then it's causing conversations to take place. And I'm not saying that's us, but maybe 2025 will be on the billboards top 40.
Woo! Okay, so like going into 2025, like what are 3 things that
3 goals.
yeah.
3 goals.
Okay, aside from like New Year's resolutions because we'll do that separately, but like 3 like top goals.
To stop getting so close to the
Yeah. My goal for PJ is to learn how to sit still
and to not
Not
get my
touch the
phone
mic.
in a conversation.
Oh, that should be your number 1. I got you a
That's
little
a
Christmas
resolution.
gift and
Oh, is it a blocker?
just wait.
Like an app blocker?
just wait.
Um,
I'm actually going to bring him over after you leave tomorrow, just so you know.
why? Why would you wait? So I won't open it before.
Well, Jordan's not here either.
That was for both of us.
Well, yeah, there's things. Just, they'll be under your tree when you get back for Christmas.
Oh, joy.
Oh, look, get on your phone. Put it away.
I got
Okay.
tagged in something.
It's
Three
too late.
goals. All right. 3. So it's not resolutions?
No. I mean, it could be like personal, like ministry.
Goals is okay.
Get away from
Definitely discipleship.
Yeah.
Like I'm finally like developing this plan of action that I want to take, and I am so excited to kind of see the spiritual maturity within our college ministry in this realm of like sanctification. Because like it's so easy to go through the rhythms a lot of times. Like, you know, you do the midweek, you do the Bible study, you do the events and all those things, but like it's consistent, which is what we want. But at the same time, like you want those personal growth and life on life community. And I think Jesus sets the tone. Like the mentality is this, that like we're reaching the many, but then we're going to be, I guess, faithful with the few.
Yeah.
Would be the same.
Yeah.
And Jesus walked with the 12, but he spoke to crowds. And so in the same realm, like you invite, you share, you love, but then there are a few that you are pouring into intentionally. And I'm so excited to see like our leaders in our group kind of start to formulate and watch that unfold. Do we know what it's going to look like? No, but my thing is like it's not a numbers game either.
Yeah.
It's 5 years from now, I want to hear stories of where it's like, man, I would have never thought about walking up to a stranger to share the gospel, and now I'm like going into seminary. Like that's my
Okay, I'm not going to seminary, but that first part, yes.
yeah. But like just like, but that's the thing too. Like we don't get to say like
Yeah.
like God is so radical.
My plan is not to, but
Yeah.
as I know,
the Lord.
my plans have never
That's one. 2 is having a child.
Yes,
That's a person.
Jordan.
That's me. I think my wife, it's not that she's not ready either. I think she's going to be a phenomenal killer mom.
Don't make me cry.
And we're going to make a beautiful baby. Like, it's just inevitable. It's a goal. If it doesn't happen, it's not the Lord's plan. Like, we trust in that. But I would love to have a kid. Man, I just want to be a dad. Ever since I was a kid myself, like, my dream... My goal, I had it written down in notebooks. Like I wanted to be a father and a husband, mainly because I didn't know what the heck I wanted to do with the rest of my life.
I thought I'd be crying about things that I'm saying, and here I go talking about you being a father. I already cried in the car once today because you were talking about you and Jordan. Someone asked.
Yeah, and Jordan's gonna be like, "What'd you say?" And I'm be like, "I don't know."
Someone asked in the car. I don't know why we say someone. Eden asked in the car, "How do you know when you love someone?" And you're just talking about like love, and you and Jordan. I was like, oh my gosh.
I do love her. I love you, babe. Even though I know you're not watching this episode. That's a personal goal. I don't even know if it's a goal. It's like
That's a goal.
it's a want. So discipleship plan, having a child, and it's not a New Year's resolution, so a goal. Let's see. What?
Get shredded.
That's like a resolution though. Not even shredded, just like consistent with my like.
Not me.
I want to be disciplined. I want to be disciplined in areas of life. Like, I am weird. Like, I love watching those like day in the life videos, like my 5 to 9 before my 9 to 5. Yes, like that's a goal of us making one just for my own. Like, I don't even need to like send it to people. I just want to have it for myself.
I think you could have like your own YouTube channel.
Kirk said the same thing, and it'd be boring for other people, but I would love it.
I don't think so. I mean, like, you could do vlogs. I don't know how much you're into vlogging, but you could do like little just like
Day in the life,
but like just sit and talk about a topic like besides a podcast, like just ramble about some
I ramble a lot.
theological thing, and like people love that. I think
I want to read more. I think that's a goal.
That's good.
Like, I said that last year, and I didn't really accomplish it. I started off good, and then I kind of fell off.
I mean, I love reading, but I get so distracted to where I'm like,
yeah, okay, that's a goal. I want to remove distractions, like my phone, and like a lot of times. Don't get me wrong though. Like, we use this for everything. Like, I'm a pastor. Like, how am I communicating with college students?
Mm-hmm. Oh,
but like, I think that's such a cop out too.
Yeah.
And screen time can be a lie too, because that can easily be like messages.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know a lot of mine's messages.
Yeah.
And so, and I don't even think like I'm perfectly fine with leisure time. Like, if you like Netflix and doing all that, but I don't know. I just want to remove distractions. I want to be disciplined. That's my third.
I like it. For me, number one, well, not necessarily
one. Removing that hat.
No. Ohio State's winning it all. One West Virginia to win a national championship.
That'll be
in something. Yeah. Not in order. Buy a house.
Yeah. That's already process is started.
Yes. I've been pre-approved for one. I just need to find one. That way. What I'm so excited for with the house is not even like for me to have a house. It's to finally have like a podcast studio that I don't have to move all this stuff around, and that will be close enough that we can just drive there and do it and not have to touch it. So get a house, start my own firm business for so like my whole contracting thing, building clientele in like the political realm for social media management. They call it handling, like being a handler, but that sounds like, I don't know, like a drug handler. So not that, but like when these VIP people go to different events and stuff, like you're their personal assistant stuff, and they bring you along, different things like that, but all into one business that's under me, and then I can hire out and contract people out. And then third, I think it's kind of like along this, what you said of like discipleship, but like building the confidence to like go out and do it myself. Because like this year I've been like sitting back and like learning, but then it's like the go part. And that's kind of like a goal of mine, is to like be confident, be comfortable doing it. Because I could talk about politics on the street, like we've said before, but something just like scares me. So like doing things like that, and then continuing, obviously growing in my walk.
Yeah. It all ties together.
Yeah. So I've had like, ever since like 2022, I've had like, I'm not a big word person, but I've had a word for like each year.
Yeah.
So 2022 is freedom for me. I found full freedom in Christ through surrender, freedom from the addiction that I had, freedom from the toxicity of the lifestyle I was living in. 2023 was more of like a healing from all of it, like the
Trauma.
quote unquote trauma, PTSD, all that. And then this year was like a restoration period of, yes, healing, but then like also like building upon that. So I'm trying to think of like what's going to be my word for 2025.
Restoration.
Because I feel like I've built myself back up.
Yeah.
Like I've been built back up.
Healing, restoration.
And now it needs to be like
Running almost.
Yeah, I need to be let loose. Go wild.
Joy.
Yeah. But I found like a lot of joy this year.
Yeah.
That I didn't have before. Hey Siri, give me words for what comes after restoration.
What about endurance? Like, because you're running.
Yeah.
No. Now it's just like endurance to keep going.
Yeah. Endurance to keep going, but don't get like burnout.
Hebrews 12.
Tired either. Yeah.
Run the race, God said, with endurance.
Yeah.
I like run the race with endurance. And then we were talking about Romans 5 the other day. And we were talking about how suffering leads to endurance. And then endurance, there's one in between. Endurance leads to hope. No, I'm missing one. We'll have to look at it. Romans 5, 1 through 5.
I like
it.
endurance.
Good, though. We're doing Romans 6 through 11 tomorrow. Or in a couple hours. This week.
Okay. What about you? Is there like a word that you can like think of that would...
Yeah, I think discipline was a word that I commonly
that's
wanted.
one.
Yeah. And I think I want to continue, like discipline and self-control are two words that I've really captured. Like if you look at the fruits of the Spirit, it's like, you can just go down the line there. But like, I've been really hyper-focused on self-control. So I'm going to say discipline and self-control are two words for me. And it's so common though, New Year's resolutions, they last for how long?
I think it's like January, like 19th or something like that. It's usually when like people drop off.
It's not long.
Yeah.
Like gym memberships. Don't join a gym in January.
Dude, I've been paying for Planet Fitness this entire
That's
year.
one thing you have to just cancel that. Because even if you wanted to go, you're not going to go by yourself. So, and we have a black card, so you can just
Well, I have a black card too that I'm paying for.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. You cancel it. What was I gonna say?
You're on the whole self-control and discipline.
Yeah, but then I was like, so like, what would you say to somebody that's like, hey, I have a New Year's resolution, but like, I never stick to them. What should I do?
Accountability. I feel like you should have someone like,
you can't
holding you accountable and like, walking with someone and doing it.
Yeah. And don't be scared to like hold them to it.
Yeah.
Like, if you came to me, you're like, I want to eat healthy. I'm like, okay. But then you're like, let's go to Chick-fil-A. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah. But
I'm
also like, don't, like, if you're the person asking someone to hold you accountable, don't get mad when they do. There's so many people who are like, I need you to hold me accountable. I don't want to do these things. And then them being a great friend, they're like, okay, don't do this. And then they freak out on you. And then they're mad at you and they don't want to be friends or something like that.
Right.
Don't be that person. If you want your resolutions to be fulfilled, allow them to be fulfilled.
Yeah. I think that's good. Yeah, I think that's a major part, actually. I think you nailed it.
Accountability.
Yeah. I don't know, because you try so many different things. You always say this year's going to be different. And then, sometimes it's longer. Yeah. But motivation dies so quickly. Especially like, so we're going to Passion. Just kick off the new year. It's going to be a big event.
Very exciting.
Great event. And the common theme, though, when you go to something like that is, man, I am so on fire for the Lord. Like, this is the perfect way to start. But then we go back to our every...
That's my word, on fire.
That's two words.
Fire. But it goes with endurance though too.
Yes. And
Spread it.
wildfire. About to sneeze.
Elephant.
Too late.
Nice.
So motivation dies so quickly, and so you can't have motivation, especially like spirituality. You have to gosh,
Do you get it?
my allergies is like
It's okay to cry. I do it all the time, especially on here.
You've got to implement discipline, like, because you're not going to want to do it every day.
Yeah.
You're not going to want to read your Bible. You're not going to want to go to the gym. You're not going to want to stick to your diet. You're not going to want to commit to the things that you're saying you're committing to. Discipline, though, leads to freedom. Motivation is something that your coach is going to give you before the game starts. But, like, are you going to carry that through and through? Because there's going to be, things that happen along the way. You're going to make excuses where it's like, oh, well, it's cold outside, or I've had a long day, I don't want to read, or man, I've done so good for a couple weeks. This, one meal won't hurt, or like one dessert won't hurt, whatever the goal is. Get accountability and develop discipline, not motivation.
I like it. Okay, so along with this whole word thing, I have songs that go with like the year.
Wonder what
So
the last 10 years
Battle Belongs was 21, 22, kind of like 23. But this year going into it, I was like, The Jesus Way, also by Phil Wickham, is going to be like my motive, the kind of thing like I want to change the most. So like going into this year, I was the person who, like, on social media, I've talked about this before, I would be like ruthless on there. I'd be nasty. I wouldn't be like Christ-like in my responses. If I saw something that wasn't biblical, if it wasn't aligning with our conservative values or something like that, I would like bash that person online. And like, yeah, shocker. But what good does that do? You're not gonna, change minds that way. You're not gonna get people to agree with you by hating on them and bashing them. So the Jesus Way, if you listen to the lyrics of the song, no matter like what the world throws at you, no matter if the world hates you, whatever it may be, if someone cusses you out, you choose the Jesus Way, which is always like, taking the high road, being kind to them. You don't have to be nice necessarily, be kind, loving. And I felt like overall I did a great job of fulfilling that. Have I slipped up several times? Absolutely, yes. People do get on my nerves and I rage. But I've seen, and so many people have even like commented to me in person about like the change that they've seen. And I think that's like part of like almost screw that word up, sanctification.
Yeah.
Is like joy and self-control and like just pure happiness. So like this year I've just had all of that, way more than I have in the past, and it just like showed just like in my actions online and how I responded to people, even in person, like these interviews. And I honestly would like post on social media to get views. I would clip something and then react to it and like say like the most bizarre thing so I could get views. But then like I stopped doing that this year. But next year it's gonna be Fix My Eyes. It's a throwback. Do you know that?
Yeah.
Fix My Eyes by For King and Country.
On you.
Yes.
Is that King and Country?
Yes. Fix My Eyes. I was gonna read some of the lyrics to it. First word is O. I love like I'm not scared, give when it's not fair, live life for another, take time for a brother, fight for the weak ones, speak out for freedom, find faith in the battles, stand tall, but above it all, fix my eyes on you. I think that could be like my whole motto going into this new year is, yeah, I had the freedom, I had the restoration, I had the healing now, but it's time to like focus and turn like my whole life in one direction. And it's not inward, it's outward.
Yeah.
And upward.
Mm.
You got a song?
Never really did the song thing. This year, my Spotify rap, though, number one was More Like Jesus. That just became like an anthem, and I'd listen to it before every Wednesday midweek.
Mm-hmm.
It was one that we typically play on Sunday mornings, while we're getting ready for services to start. A song that I've been clinging to as of recent is Holy Forever. Yeah. And it's just a reminder to me that God truly does remain the same.
Yeah.
Like, he is holy. There's no removing it. Even when we feel like we're not. And I think that's something everybody should kind of come to grasp is that I just think that self-doubt is it's so big in our culture and our generation. Yeah.
I still
when we look at each other and we're like, and we're like saying like, man, you are representing Christ.
Mm-hmm.
Commonly, we're like, no, I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way. But I think that's why it matters who's like in and around your life. That's who you need to ask. Who, like, hey, would you be honest with me and tell me my spiritual gifts? Hey, which fruit of the Spirit do you think I can work on? Do you think I'm loving the Lord? And trust in those opinions, because easily you're your biggest critic and enemy.
Yeah.
So I think that is something that we all can cling to. And so my advice to like the young adult is find a local church and be a part of it. Like, be a part.
Mm-hmm.
And find community to do life with. And I think you nailed that on the head. But I don't even know if that like tied into like Holy Forever. But you also said it earlier, like, I found friends that I can love Jesus with.
Mm-hmm.
And that, like, that's true. And the thing about the gospel in Christ is he does remain the same. He's holy forever. And it's not about us.
Yeah.
We worship a perfect God. And I think people need that hope, especially right now in a world that's constantly changing. In a few weeks, we're going to have a new president.
Thank God.
Yeah.
I'll be there.
And that I'm surprised you didn't say that was one of your things you're looking forward to in 25. But
I'm kind of over politics. It's just my job. It's my paycheck.
Yeah. But yeah, I think the world's always changing,
mm-hmm.
and there's a hope that everyone and anyone can grasp, and that's Jesus, which is so peaceful to think about, especially with like even the wrongs and negatives in the world.
Yeah. You're talking about like surrounding yourself with like people of God and things like that. What's funny is I used to like feel uncomfortable saying the word Jesus and the name Jesus. I don't know why. I guess like kind of like an upbringing of like, don't use the Lord's name in vain type thing. So then like you just avoid it like altogether. But I think like one of the coolest things about like our friendship and our group's friendship, our core group's friendship, is like every time we're together, no matter what we're doing, what we're talking about, a gospel conversation or a theological conversation always happens.
Yeah.
And I've never had that before. And I think it's just so cool. And half the time, like, I'll just sit back and listen because I love to like observe and just like take it in.
You did it in the car.
Yeah. I was also a little tired, but today,
yesterday,
I just want to like listen.
Yeah.
Because I feel like when you listen, you educate yourself more, you learn more. And when you're surrounded by people who are way further in their walk than you are, there's a lot to learn.
The Bible's clear too. Like sometimes like a listening ear is better than an open mouth.
Mm-hmm.
I think James talks about don't quote me on that, but like that's clear as day.
And we know I like to talk and have a loud mouth, so when I do take the time to sit back and listen.
We all do.
Okay, so what was like one of the most challenging things this year, or disappointing things, or something that you would think is like a failure?
You can
I'm kind of perfect this year. I didn't do anything wrong.
It's year 2 for me at Langston. And there's a lot I'm learning. Like a lot I've sat back and learned, and so I wouldn't say any of it was a failure. I think there's just things I want to do better. Communicating with students, being on campus. Like I think I dropped the ball on not be like we did it like 3 times. And I'm just a firm believer, especially in college ministry, like you've got to be where your sheep are and where they at, like 80%, 90% of the time on their campus. And that is such an open mission field that we forget about. And I can easily make excuses. And so I think just like being where they are, that's something I want to grow in. And it's something I think is so simple that I'm just neglecting.
Yeah.
So I would say that would be my thing. I could probably think of like 5 other things that are just on the spot right now.
I feel like you sometimes you definitely do. You try to be like the perfectionist at things,
100%.
And like even on the podcast, you say it all the time. You're like, I try to be like the person who, or I want to be the person who like
I'm
can
dropping
give
the ball
the
right
answer.
now.
Yeah, but I don't think so. Like ever since I got here, I don't know what it looked like before, but it's just grown from April to here now, like in the college ministry.
Yeah,
and I think everyone can see that. And I mean, like, you're the shepherd of it, so you're the one who is growing it. He's using you to grow it, but
you got to smell like your sheep. That's what the shepherd. How do you know a shepherd? How do you know a shepherd's a good shepherd? He smells like a sheep.
Yeah, and I'd say you sound like it
He gets
because you're involved. Like I've seen other churches who, like the youth leader, the college leader, whatever it may be, even the pastor a lot. They're just there on Sundays and Wednesdays, but like you're there constantly. You're having people over, so I think you're doing pretty swell in that regards. Now back to me. I don't know of like a failure type thing, but the most challenging thing was, which was also the greatest thing. Oh, okay. So I got 2. Boy, I didn't even think about that one.
I was like May.
Yeah,
maybe.
But like, I was thinking first is also the most or the best thing was moving, taking a leap of faith again. I felt a strong pull, a strong conviction that I had to leave Maryland again, and I didn't know where I was actually going to go, but I was like, I feel South Carolina. But like leaving my family again, I was like, I don't want to do this again. Now, mother, if you're listening, it's your turn to take a leap.
There's a solution to this.
Yeah, but that was like the hardest thing. But opening up, that one got me. Yeah.
But you did it so nonchalant. I think my favorite part of it though is I was like, hey, is it cool if my wife? And you're like, sure.
Do you know why I was like scared though? Like her listening.
Why?
Well, I can't say it, but like
judgment.
Yeah, like from her perspective of like,
if
we're gonna be friends,
just like talk to.
Well, I'm sure.
Mad.
This guy sucks.
I was like, well, he's never coming back.
Yeah. Well,
no, I'm just kidding.
Here I am.
I think like that was probably the hardest, but it was also like you just like one of your words, the most freeing.
Yeah.
And I think that's where vulnerability is so crucial. And like I think authenticity is thrown around in a way where it's like you're almost abusing authenticity. Like you're saying things that like there's people that just take it and they're comfortable with living in their sin. Like instead of like you coming and saying like here's my past, here's my struggles now, and I'm telling you because I want to trust you. That to me is authentic.
Yeah.
Versus somebody that's like, I don't even know. Like I don't know how to describe this.
Well, like a lot of people use their story to like boost themselves up and like put them on like basically a display board to be like, look at me. But like there's some of us out there who are terrified.
Yeah, and it's like I want to find freedom. I just don't know how. And so I read in scripture like confess with your mouth, and it's like So here I am, last resort.
Yeah.
Almost. And yeah, we've jumped through some hoops this year, even together. So
Yeah. But opening up, I think, like a message to people out there who are scared, find people that you can trust. And I'm telling you, it's the most freeing thing ever. Find people who won't judge you. Well, so how do you find those people though? Like, I mean, I guess I should be answering this because I'm the one who trusted you guys, but like,
yeah,
you also allowed me to trust you. You know?
Yeah, I think getting to know people, like, I don't know if you necessarily like go out looking. It's just like people that ask you like, how do I find a boyfriend, girlfriend? You don't go out searching.
Mm-hmm.
That's not the way it works. I think it starts with the main source, which is God. Like, praying, and the Lord does give desires of our hearts when they align with His will, and His will for us is to be with His people, aka the church.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not talking about like a building. I'm talking about people. And so you need to be doing life with others. And so I think for you, we sat down and had coffee for about an hour and a half. And I think it was one of those things where I was honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
Like and you were honest, like with the questions that I asked you. And it just led to like, kind of like, okay, I think I can trust this guy.
Mm-hmm.
Because it wasn't just like you just blurted this out either.
Yeah.
I mean, we said, you were like, I want to share with you some more stuff, and I really think it was a leap of faith because you didn't know how I would react or respond.
I was terrified. I was like,
so
well,
I don't think there's like
we're not gonna be friends now.
Friends. He's I'm probably not gonna be welcome back at this church.
Like the furthest we're gonna get is he's just gonna be the college pastor.
Oh, hey, Cole, it's Coleton.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, Zach.
Oh, here we are.
Yeah.
And
So what would you say? What would your advice be? How do you find those people?
I don't know. Honestly, I mean, I don't think I went out and found them.
How'd you get to a point where you wanted to trust somebody, though?
I think because I balled it up so much and for so long, that like telling. So I've told people, maybe 3 people prior to coming back down here, but they weren't people of like strong faith. So their advice to me was like, "Oh, it's fine. Like you don't really need to change your lifestyle and things. What you're doing, your addiction." Yeah. So I was like, "Well, that's not the advice I need, but I need." And I craved someone that I could like just entrust with like anything, but then also have advice for. And I felt like early on, you were just like able to just give advice about just different things, like small things. I kind of like test it here and there. And
you think it was our love for college football?
Well, that's like what we talked about at Starbucks for the most part.
Amazing.
But like, I felt like we were like almost the same person, like in our interests and stuff. And I was like,
I think I
this
shared
guy.
with you some of my story up front.
Yes, which also allowed me to be like, because you shared that about the porn addiction at Starbucks, and I was like, oh, little does he know,
Ding, ding, ding.
I also struggle with this.
And then when somebody was telling me like, have you heard Coleton's story? I was like, yeah, like, we talked about these. They're like, nah. And I was like, they're like, how crazy is it? I'm like, I mean, yeah, I guess. But then you were like, hey, I want to share more. I'm like, okay, something isn't being said.
Mm-hmm.
But I wasn't like how we are with KT. 40.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, like,
I think our response matters.
Yeah. Well, there's people like now that know that I have a story that like are prying and like want to know, but like I don't feel comfortable telling them yet. And I think you're going to learn, to those who are listening, like you're going to learn quickly like who you can trust of like a good, not necessarily reaction, but like who aren't going to like flip out and be like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And too, like people who aren't going to tell other people without like your consent.
Yeah.
And like tell it behind your back. Because I know several people have asked you guys and other people that I've told. And like, it's not my story to tell.
Right. That's exactly it. Yeah, because that can also easily become gossip.
Yeah. If you leave out a part or something.
So yeah, 2024 is a wrap. A lot of things that are positive, a lot of things that are good, a lot of hardships that the Lord brought us through. But again, everything works according to His plan and His purpose for His glory and His glory alone. And so what's your advice for everybody heading into 2025, heading into a new year? Let's just say that.
As someone who struggled with like just faith and having great faith, so like at the church I went to in DC,
That it? Jump,
yeah,
make the
jump off the cliff.
Nope.
Not like that. It's not what I meant. But the church in DC, their like motto for the year was great faith, and that was something I really struggled with. And I walked into your office the other day, and I saw the little vial with a little
mustard seed,
and I was like, "Is this a mustard seed?" And I almost started crying looking at the thing. I was like, "That's all I need to have, is faith the size of a mustard seed."
It doesn't require anything else.
Yeah, and I think that would be my biggest thing going into the new year, is just have faith and trust God that whatever you're going through, He's going to bring you through it. He has a plan that's greater than yours, that's greater than you could ever imagine, that the battle belongs to Him. Yeah. We don't have to fight our own battles. We can give it to Him because He's already not only fought the battles, He's won the battle and won the ultimate war. So have the faith in that. And I think the faith will it just leads to other things. It just leads to more joy, more happiness, more peace. I think that's a thing going for me in the New Year's, peace as well. Like I have a peace now of everything that's happened, and the regrets are gone, all of that, and faith, and that will lead to peace and joy and everything else that you're seeking. And if you're seeking things in the world, you're not going to find it. I can promise you that. You're only going to find true fulfillment in Him.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's your piece of advice before we...
If you're on the fence about Christianity, jump all in. There's no middle ground here. And you're wasting your life with the middle piece where you're like, I've got 1 foot here in the world and 1 foot, in the Lord. It doesn't work that way. I love the common saying, like, the man is he's in between 2 fields, Satan on one, God on the other. They're going back and forth like, hey, here's, and the devil's like, I've got all these things for you. And the Lord's like, I just want you, like, I love you. And he decides to sit on the fence. But then Satan approaches him and starts to grab him. He's like, what are you doing? Like, I'm staying in the middle. He's like, I own the fence. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, that, and it's not like it shouldn't be a scare tactic. I think it's just the reality that you can't claim the light and live in the darkness, 1 John. And so jump all in. Like, don't be afraid, because and cry, like, God does not like hurt His children. Like, you always want to blame God. People are going to be people. You will be disappointed, but believe me when I say this, trusting in Christ, fully surrendering your life to Him, will be the greatest decision you will ever make in your life. And so repent, believe the gospel, and trust that His mercies are new today, tomorrow, and forever.
And that's good. Okay, so I said that this was gonna be like a 30-minute episode, and I went way over that. So to wrap up, the last thing.
Pigs?
Huh?
Pigs?
Oh boy, find them.
All right, what's the last thing before we do it?
What's like your top New Year's resolution?
Top.
Well, you think I'll go first.
Okay.
Mine's obviously this new health kick.
Yeah.
So for those of you who don't know, I have been going down the rabbit trail of like, not necessarily research, but I listen to a lot of trustworthy podcasts, like Alex Clark, her Culture Apothecary podcast. We all know I love Allie Beth Stuckey's Relatable podcast. And there's a lot of talk now, especially with RFK Jr. becoming at the forefront of this like whole health fight in the government. organic foods, non-GMO foods, and things like that. So that's what I'm going to really start focusing on, is watching what I put inside my body regarding food. Is I'm going to cut back on basically fast food unless I have to, unless we're out traveling somewhere like Passion. Raw milk, we're going to start on that one. TMI, I'm basically lactose intolerant, but that's because when you have pasteurized milk, they take out all the nutrients out of it, which then makes you lactose intolerant.
What'd you eat last night for dessert?
Nothing. I didn't have cheesecake.
Dang it. You did a milkshake from Chick-fil-A.
Yes, and I took Pepto right after that, so I didn't have to go to the bathroom. But raw milk helps with that, helps with allergies and different things like that. I'm not really going to be eating out at restaurants. I'm going to be making my own foods. Go to Good Ranchers, get your meat from there, or a local farm meat source that that's non-GMOs, no vaccines in the food and the cattle and things like that. And I think all of my health things are going to be wiped away.
Mine's
get away from the mic.
Mine's consistency with everything. My wife's about to jump to day shift. Thankfully, that's something we've been praying about and talking about a lot. And
she can hang out with us more.
She's finishing school too, so it's going to be a good thing there. But consistent with,
boy, they come out of nowhere.
Yeah. It was building up, but I just didn't say anything. Consistent with like my sleep schedule, consistent with like work, because I it's not even procrastination. There's just so much, and it's so different. Like you don't get, as a pastor, like I try to plan things out, but you have to make time for like interruptions, and there are divine interruptions, in my opinion. Like there's always a reason, but I think I can do a better job of getting things done, like ahead of time and consistently. So consistent with like working out, consistent with sleep schedule, consistent with just eating, not even a diet, just like eating, like, cause I can easily be the guy that skips a meal or something, and I don't need to, I'm skinny.
Yeah.
And so, consistent with those things, consistent with discipleship, consistent with ministry, consistent with everything. So consistency is the word
of the year.
That's number 3, I guess. But I'm gonna make consistency the word, and I'm gonna make consistency my New Year's resolution. So
I like it.
Yeah.
And now for the last time
of
2024, the most important part of the podcast.
I've got 5 games happening next Friday, the day this releases.
Okay.
Starting things off with Boomer Sooner
Navy
versus Navy.
Anchors away.
They really balled out that last game.
They did.
Don't know if Oklahoma can stop the triple option either.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go Oklahoma. Mainly just because I want us to have some more opposite games before the
end. Because I'm closing the gap.
Yeah, you might be. We're 3-2 on this past week together, though, so I don't really think you're closing the gap.
I got Ohio State, and they're going to win it all. Gap's going to be closed.
Gap is going to be shut after the Ducks. Georgia Tech and Vanderbilt, which is such an underrated game. Shootout. I'm thinking, what's the points? 51.5? Obliterated. Give me 80 in this.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going Georgia Tech, though.
I am, too. I really felt, but, dude, they should have beat Georgia. We wouldn't even have to worry about Georgia right now in this stupid... Well, they'd be in the
8 overtimes? 7?
They'd be in the playoff.
Ugh, no.
No, they would. Georgia Tech was They were in the SEC title game already. Georgia Tech...
they would have had to win, though. Because that would have been their 3rd loss.
They would have won.
Yeah, they would have had a bounce back game anyway.
Yeah, like Ohio State did.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're both taking Tech. Texas Tech and Arkansas. You're a Big 12
guy. Is this the Liberty Bowl?
This is the Liberty Bowl. Arkansas is a 1.5 favorite. Tech
finished strong.
Yeah. They're weird though.
Mm-hmm. They almost had a chance to go. Oh, by finishing strong, I mean they sent Neil Brown packing. Thank you, Texas Tech. His final game is Mountaineer.
Is that why you're going to take them?
Guns up, Red Raiders.
It's so tough for me because early on, Oklahoma State beat this Arkansas team, and our Oklahoma State ended up 3-9.
Mm-hmm.
We might be hitting all four of these things. I've got to go Tech. I don't want. You know what? I'll go Arkansas. I
mean, the bowl games you never even know.
Yeah,
at this point
because transfers and all that. So I'll go Arkansas. We'll just make it fun. Syracuse, Washington State. I think this is an easy one.
Yeah,
Syracuse.
Is this Holiday Bowl?
Yeah, DirecTV.
I think that's ridiculous that you're making Syracuse. Aren't they ranked? They're a ranked team.
21.
Ranked team going all the way to California for this. Still Syracuse.
Yeah, Washington State lost their quarterback to the portal. Kyle McCord.
Sick of it.
They ended the year great too.
They had Kyle McCord. Oh, Syracuse did.
Yeah. And then finally, Southern Cal, because the real
fake USC
in South Carolina versus Texas A&M. I think A&M.
Yeah. Where's this?
Distribution Las Vegas Bowl. Which did USC beat?
Started LSU. Started the season there.
They could they end the year the same way?
No.
Okay.
Aggies.
Yeah, I do like what's his name as coach. You know who?
I don't know who it is, but yeah.
Yeah. He went there, and that's why he left Duke, and I respect that.
Mm-hmm.
So, A&M, we got two different ones on the menu. Yeah. So.
And then the games that aren't going to be talked about is the Alabama game, which is pathetic, playing Michigan. South Carolina is going to be beating Illinois. No, I think we're picking the same ones there. And then Notre Dame is going to possibly beat Georgia. And then
we could
Ohio State.
You're going to be gone, dude, you're going to be gone till...
The only game on the 31st is yours.
Yeah.
The rest are on the 1st.
You taking Boise?
We'll see.
We're 10.5.
That'll be a game day decision.
Just to make for like, we won't have a picture for this, but Alabama over Michigan.
Yes.
Louisville over Washington.
Yes.
South Carolina by 1 million over Illinois.
Yes.
Oh, Baylor versus LSU.
I'm going Baylor.
It's a 1-point spread in their favor. I'm going to go LSU. And then Texas, Oregon.
Uh-huh.
I'm not saying Notre Dame or Georgia yet. I don't know.
Oh, who's Texas playing? Oh,
Duke versus Ole
Arizona
Miss.
State.
Ole Miss is going to kill them now because their quarterback entered the portal. Duke's.
New Year's resolution for NCAA. Fix the portal.
Fix the system. Fix the portal. Fix
everything.
Go back to BCS, says.
Please.
But hey.
The next time we're filming, we might be in Passion.
Yeah.
I mean,
if not, we'll make a vlog.
Yes.
Hey, Happy New Year.
Have a safe New Year.
We love you guys. Yes. If you're drinking, please have a designated driver.
Pour it out.
Yeah, do that. But also, if you are, then call somebody and get yourself taken care of. We love you guys.
See you next year.
Peace.